Unlock your full potential with Brain and Focus, a powerful supplement designed to boost mental clarity, enhance memory, and sharpen concentration. Made from a blend of scientifically proven ingredients like ginkgo biloba, omega-3, and essential vitamins, Brain and Focus is crafted to fuel your mind. Our process ensures maximum potency and effectiveness, delivering the perfect balance of brain-boosting nutrients. Take just one capsule daily, as prescribed by your healthcare provider, and feel the difference. Whether it's powering through your workday or staying sharp in life's challenges, Brain and Focus keeps you at the top of your game. Stay sharp, stay focused, and stay ahead with Brain and Focus. Brain and Focus, fuel your mind, achieve more. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
From Lagos to Wagga, the spirit they rise. We no go fear Jah they guide. Africa they stand, Traoré'S they rise.
Who's this, better boy now?
When the night dark, still the light go burn. He knew they alone, Jah they fight for the throne. Bucking a stand tall, your kingdom come home. God is with Ibrahim, Traoré'S.
All you bootlicking Negroes.
And the storm him there. Africa they shout from everywhere. Burkina Faso, we no go stray. Stand strong, stand proud today. God is with you, come what may. Them try to silence the youth, but we still they talk. From the dust of the ground, we rise like rock. I see soldier with faith, no they back down. Truth in chest like king with crown. Them call I'm rebel, we call I'm chosen. A warrior sent from heaven, spirit unbroken. I see angels guard him steps every night. Africa praying with one voice, one fight. When the fire come, make the lion no run. When the night dark, still the light go burn. You know they alone, Jah they fight for the throne. Burkina stand tall, your kingdom come home. When the fire come, make the lion no run. When the night dark, still the light go burn. You know they alone, Jah they fight for the throne. Burkina stand tall, your kingdom come home. God is with Ibrahim, Traoré'S. Through the war and the storm, he made. Africa they shout. Burkina Faso, we no go stray. Stand strong, stand proud today. God is with you, come what may. I hear the children sing, I see the flags wave. Freedom no cheap, but the brave go pave. No foreign hand go write our story. Now we go rise for truth and glory. The land cry blood, but healing they come. We go drum and dance till peace they run. So to every man we stand for right. May God give you shield and guiding light. To my brothers in Congo, Ghana, Niger. To the sisters in Mali, South Africa. When one rise, all rises one Africa. Burkina Faso, you know they alone, Jah they deliver. God is with Ibrahim, Traoré'S. Through the war and the storm, him there. Africa they shout from everywhere. Burkina Faso, we no go stray. Stand strong, stand proud today.
Good afternoon, family. Grand rising.
The ancestors they watch.
You guys are doing amazing today.
They guide.
Be ready for Friday and today's conversation.
Shine.
This is the AI stars. This is not Burna Boy. This literally all this connection.
No, but we know that's not Burna Boy. Yeah, okay.
You sent me a TikTok video telling me R. Kelly was the one who wrote that jam that the AI.
I said he probably wrote it. Yeah, he probably wrote it. I don't think the AI wrote. I think R. Kelly wrote that. I think they used the AI to do it. I think he wrote that song.
You said probably, so you're not sure also of the facts. So
I can't be sure. He's in jail and guarding his booty. I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, wow. But yeah, that is booking. That is a Burna Boy AI with God Protect Ibrahim Traoré. Of course, we love to see it. It's pushing this. I love the fact it's pushing. It's algorithm of people seeing what is happening. Like you'll be forced to see and go research who Ibrahim Traore, even if you don't like it, because most of these jumps are doing hundreds of numbers, thousands of numbers. So you'll be pushed even if you're ignorant. Go see if you're a bootlicker of Banner Boy, you'll go see what Banner Boy is talking about. Who is Ibrahim
Well, this is
Traore?
the
Yeah.
this is the I told you, this is the shift. It's the wake up of African consciousness. Finally, where you got the fake ass Morocco, those damn invaders up to Morocco. We want to join ASL. You never let these fucking Arabs join nothing you do. And Africans, you better learn this. Tell a lot of Africans finally understand this. Stop trying to be welcoming to people that don't like us. Okay? Oh, you see, Joe showed the bill like 3 years ago with the Moroccans were beating up the Africans trying to get across over to Spain, killing them and beating them. Yeah, I've been to Morocco. You know how they treat you like shit. They only want to go, and they're close to what? Oh, it's not real, right? Who's causing all the havoc on the continent? So they're trying to get in. They can't stand black people, so they want to join a black organization because they want to be from within side to destroy it from within. So when they ask to come aboard, it's not no brotherhood with these fucking people. You say, nah, we're good. Stay your ass over there. But go ahead,
Period.
Joe.
As you should. But of course, that is among the conversation we shall be having. Of course, we have white people in plenty. Of course, despite it's crazy. White people, I don't know. White people are, I don't know. These people are just they're funny and crazy. So we have white people, like we've been seeing, of course, the Arabs trying to stand up with Ibrahim Traore, saying, this is our son. We care about him. We also have other
Uh,
in collective where I'll be
you
sharing
care
that with
about you care about him, but
as
you rape
well.
his women. But you rape and brutalize his women.
It's
Make
just not
make make,
adding up.
make,
It's,
make, make that make sense. They
it's
don't
not
because
adding
because
up.
because it's a lie. Exactly, it's a lie.
It's not adding up because they've never supported anything. They've never even spoken about even the current puppet leaderships we have, calling out these puppet leaders. If they really care so much about humanity and the democracy of Africa, then you should be calling out these puppet leaders. Like what is happening in Kenya, the abductions, the killings, what is happening in Congo every single day and for the last decades. Why won't you talk
Joby,
about that? Why
these people hate black people.
so why
They hate us.
now? Why now? That's what I'm trying to understand.
Because
Why now?
he's becoming famous. They want to jump on the bandwagon and grab some clout from him. That's why he's
If,
popular.
mhm. If we're talking about people like Tariq Nasheed and all that, we'd get it. I understand, where it's coming from and all that. But white people, we know your true color. We know who you really are, who you have been from the beginning. So we're not buying this BS, and I love the fact that actually Africans are laughing about it because come on, white people showing us you care about Africa since when? I mean, look at the situation in
Exactly.
South Africa. Like, if you really cared again, you should call your very own people for what they're doing in South Africa. We should not be having sundown towns in South Africa in 2025 today. We should not be seeing that black people cannot go to any part of their country because white people own this majority of the land.
Yeah,
What?
that
Come on.
that's
We're not
called
buying
that's called them playing with you in your face.
we're not buying that. But of course, that is the conversation we shall be having. I'll be showing also a Kenyan senator who's also, of course, talking to the Kenyan politicians in general in the parliament, calling out, of course, the fake democracy again and how if leadership was to work, it should be. I give him credit because this one among the guys actually who was mad because of our elections getting rigged, that was in 2022, among the people actually who brought chaos because of the elections getting rigged. So I do give him props, but he's talking about the generation of today, if not carefully given what they need, we should expect chaos. Okay, we should expect literally people are gonna be having capability of taking what they want into their own hands, and that is why, especially of course, where we're going. And this is why you see most of these politicians, they're going outside when they're on interviews. They're like, Kenyans were so hard to predict. Hell no, we're very easy to understand. But before we get into all that and matters happening in Africa, I want us to talk about a little bit of Bill Gates Foundation. I think so far, probably majority of you have
Not
seen what is
not this
happening.
psychopath. Not this psychopath again.
Maybe yes, maybe not. But Bill Gates, he has said he's giving away $200 billion and shutting down his foundation. I mean,
Uh huh. Yeah.
I mean,
Uh huh.
uh-huh. I mean, after How many years of operating is
This
foundation?
psycho, this psychopath is not shutting nothing down. Like I told you, he's a
Mhm.
Rockefeller puppet. He's put out there for the elite. He's a phony. Like I told you, they always have front men. Go back and understand Bill Gates' family. His family are the flunkies of the Rockefellers, who are offshoots of the Rothschild. He's
Mhm.
a, he's a con man.
Mhm.
He's out there to do their bidding. So him shutting down any foundations, if you call foundation, if you call doing wicked shit around the planet a foundation, okay, not shutting anything down. It's probably maneuver into something else. There's
Mhm.
always a scam, always
Mhm.
something deeper. It's always nonsensical. This dude is a psychopathic murderer.
Of course. So it's of course it's questionable, and the reason why I'm talking about it is we know of course so many people have been blinded, Keith. Not everyone knows, like we say every single day, what we know. Not everyone is educated. So many people are caught
Of
up in
course.
this illusion of lies and this system of lies. So of course, someone like me, if you approach me back then without all this information, of course I'd say Bill Gates is there with, like we've been told by the mainstream media and the rest, is a billionaire. You don't know the mask behind the billionaire. Of course, you don't know who is giving him the funds. You see him coming to Africa and looking at Africa, so many problems in quote we need a Bill Gates to come and help us, just like Mr. Beast, bring your billions of funds here because you have the ability to help needy people, because we're very needy as Africans, especially when it comes to
And
malaria of
that
diseases.
become the problem. The ignorance of the African is no longer acceptable because they are the ones who contribute. They're the ones who create the problem. It's the
Mm-hmm,
Hegelian. Everything they've ever done is the Hegelian dialectic. Create the
mm-hmm,
problem,
mm-hmm.
look at the reaction, and come with the fake solution that benefits them.
Exactly. So, of course, this has been happening for the longest time. Let me see when the Bill Gates Melinda Foundation was started.
I think around I think around 2001, 2002, something like that. I've been 1999.
That was in 2000. Yeah, 2000. So it's been
Yeah,
25
2000.
yeah, 25 years of running, and of course it has contributed in its own ways, in or various ways across the world. But of course we know it's not anything good. We know that. We know him shutting down this foundation is going to lead to something else, and of course I have the details. Number one, I want to share a video of where he was accused of exploiting leverage, where the Gates Foundation was accused of exploiting its leverage in Africa. This is the first video. And then we have another video where they are breaking down how they're going to, after closing this foundation, how they're going to spend $200 billion. And trust me, the focus is Africa. The focus is Africa, because we're seeing the
This,
children, the
this is
about
this is called rebranding because people know he's a sick psychopath, right? This is called rebranding. Whenever white people get caught, they rebrand themselves. Joe. They change the name and call it something else. It's the same
mm-hmm,
wicked, evil stuff that they do. They just rebrand it under
mm-hmm,
something else because everybody knows the Bill Gates Foundation is wicked and evil. So this is
mm-hmm,
just them rebranding it
mm-hmm.
into
And
some other kind of nefarious organization.
it
Go
shouldn't
ahead.
be allowed, but of course, because the people who control the world are the people who are funding him. This is why it is
Of
happening.
course,
We have
exactly.
India. We have India, which of course holds so many cases against this man, and the rest of the world. So do we. Literally, everyone right now who has been affected by the COVID shot, who is expected to,
Yeah,
DEATH,
that's right.
whatever.
Yeah,
But
that's right.
we know it's supposed to be, of course, held accountable, and that the people, of course, who are funding this, they're all supposed to be held accountable. But like you said, if this is rebranding, this is what we're talking about: injustice and the system that has not been set to work according to humanity. Let's not even talk about Africans, humanity itself, because we know their funding schemes actually all leads to all these psychopathic, evil, depopulation
Well, it's
agendas.
inhumane.
But let me share this first video as we
Bill
continue.
Gates, for so long the world's richest man, who famously announced he would give most of it away and spend his time and vast resources on the world's poor. His foundation, worth more than $50 billion, run with his wife and investor Warren Buffett, has, with great success, targeted massive killers like malaria, TB, and AIDS.
Great success. See that? I don't know where Joe Biden got this propaganda from.
Of
It's
course, it
been an
has already.
absolute failure, and this is absolute nonsense they're talking. This foundation has did more death, destruction in Africa because the leaders are puppets, and sadly, most Africans are ignorant. Besides, that's how AIDS got into Africa. Didn't come from you having sex. Let you know that. Came up with white people in their goopy lab coats, and you like, yeah, yeah, white daddy, stick me here. Yeah. And now all of a sudden, Africans would never have any diseases. All African nations are the number one contributors of AIDS now. Yeah. So was that much sex going on in Africa, where all African countries now are full of this AIDS virus? You better think again. It's your ignorance and not understanding who your enemy is that lets you vulnerable because you're dealing with psychopaths. And I hate to tell you, you religious morons, you're the easiest to destroy because you worship these people. When they come to give you what they give you, next you know you got AIDS, you got some other disease, you got this, that, and you wonder what happened, where did it come from? If you ain't figured out now, too bad for you.
Exactly. So, yeah. So of course, this is it's a propaganda coming from Al Jazeera. The video is coming from Al
Yeah,
Jazeera.
Al Jazeera, no wonder. Yeah,
It's
this propaganda.
It's a controlled mainstream media. We know
Yeah,
that.
this propaganda.
And there's nothing Bill Gates has done for Africans that has become beneficial. Like yes, you're talking about
Nothing. It's all wicked, all evil,
AIDS
all
was so
despotic.
bad. Malaria, it's all of them literally that they keep on coming even with these synthetic drugs that don't even
Africans never had no problem with malaria ever until these people showed up. All they had to do was take herbs, bitter herbs, and there was no mass dying in Africa ever from any malaria. Ever. So make it make sense. Who are these white people coming to help you with malaria when they never suffered from malaria, no Europe? How they took, and then how's your most wicked enemy supposedly be helping you? You ain't, what? You have wow.
The question should be how does someone who has the weakest immune system come help you, someone with the strongest immune system?
Exactly. And who always rob, kill, pillage, rape. Ain't that? It's the African mind. You better wake up. These people have been plotting to unalive us since they found us. Okay? Never been your friend. How somebody you know ain't never been your friend? Because you've been educated wrong in these goofy African schools. But how somebody you can have common deduction. How someone's never been your friend coming to help you with any kind of help? Make it make sense. Good.
So let me continue.
Yet as Mr. Gates' powerful friends gather in Davos.
Powerful friends, of course, you see who they are.
It is warning
Davos, remember that's Davos, WEF, the wickedest thing. And remember, the white Arab is a European. He's a cousin of the Europe because they're not real Arab. They invaded. People you see in what they call the Middle East and North Africa are invaders. Those are Europeans reclassifying themselves as Arabs, and they're not. See, that's another scam that they put on you. Those are white people. Same white people you see in Europe, same ones you see in Saudi Arabia, Abu Dhabi. Same people. Go ahead, Joe.
And may not be the force for good so many world leaders say it is. The study from the pressure group Global Justice Now paints a picture of the Gates Foundation, partly as an expression of corporate America's desire to profit from Africa, and partly a damning critique of its effects.
You could have a case where the initial research is done by a Gates-funded institution.
The research is being done by Gates Foundation, so of course that's where
you got these dangerous boot-licking, handkerchief-head African leaders who have offered up their people to these psychopaths because they give me a little bribe, they gave me money, I'm a dummy. All African leaders are gotta be wiped out. All of them gotta go. They are a danger to African people. I mean, every last one of them gotta be wiped out. Even the new moron in Ghana, who's always been implicated in trying to take out Ibrahim Traoré. That I know Joby was right about that Muhammad motherfucker, that moron. Because you had a Ghanaian who was told to go, who now shot even they shut down the Ghanaian embassy in Bikini Faso because there was some strange going on from the Muhammad dude. All of them gotta go. They're all corrupt. Go ahead, Joker.
Yeah, so let me share this video here of this lady. Then, of course, we also have another one from where he was accused of him and his foundation of targeting women's ovaries. Of course, this is not a surprise.
Of course, because that's the pop. Remember, black woman
Yeah.
the birth of the planet. The whole thing was to wipe you. See, the whole thing. See, all the diseases didn't work to wipe out black people. So now they got to go at your reproduction organs. You can't understand this, guys. Africa without the African. He's a psychopath.
What's the volume? Don't know where the volume went to. Let me see.
To bringing his programs to Africa. It is no secret, he says it publicly, that African population needs to be reduced. And he has been around for a long time. More and more of the atrocities that he has committed using his vaccines are coming out. We know that he has his hands in almost every pharmaceutical industry that exists on this planet. We know that he has his hands on any food industry around. And so combine food poisoning and vaccines and pharmacy, and then you see what is making this guy rich. Have you asked why Mr. Bill's wealth has more than tripled ever since he quit Microsoft and became a philanthropist? How can the wealth of a philanthropist skyrocket?
Understand, that's a fake word they use, philanthropy. He's not a philanthropist. Stop using their fake term. This psychopath is not a philanthropist. He's not giving back death and destruction. Everybody wants to bring GMO foods to Africa. Everything bad. But he's making a profit off it. Philanthropy means you're giving things away for free. Everything he's doing is wicked and evil, but he's also making profit from it because he's bribing these corrupt African morons to implement his crazy organization. Things he wants to do. All you gotta do is get these African morons some money, and they'll sell out their whole people to death and destruction. Go ahead, Joey.
Now you tell me. Africans, wake up. Wake up.
There's a wake
between the lines.
There's a waking up right there. Shout out to you, African lady. That's right. Shout out to you, lady.
When it comes to bringing his programs to Africa, it is no secret. He says it publicly.
Yeah, so people already know, of course, his agenda. Remember in Kenya, also people called him out some time back for he was denied immunity in Kenya. And then we also have this video here coming from this. Let me try share this Nigerian lady here coming from Nigeria.
Well, let me say something, Joe. And they had that moron and the Kenyan legislator. He's Bill Gates. Who are you? Not the who are you? Shut up, you paid off bootleg. Shut your mouth.
Exactly.
These bootlegs are dangerous.
People, I love the fact people have, especially when they hit the indigenous seeds. That's when people started questioning, of course, his philanthropist agendas in Africa. Because, of course, like the video I was sharing some time back, like Kenyans, people understand their way.
They want you. Yeah, it's always slavery. They want you to pay now for their seeds that are genetically modified.
You're breaking. You're breaking a little bit. We lost you there, but if you come back, let me know. I think you are on a bad area, but yeah, let me share this video as we continue. So Bill Gates, I don't know. I can't wait to see if this is literally rebranding. I can't wait to see the different foundation type of name they come up with.
Women ovaries, and I'm going to take you to that. Before then, this is a discussion or a topic that we have talked about prior to this time, and I keep hammering on this, especially when it comes to GMOs. There is an agenda behind selling these seeds to our farmers. there is something I want to draw to your attention. Before I roll in the clip so that you better understand, I want you to listen to this. Okay, you remember when 296 schoolgirls in the north were abducted by so-called Boko Haram?
Yeah.
That news went viral. The whole world were like, bring back our girls, bring back our girls. There was a campaign. Boko Haram were the ones that took our girls. And what didn't rise in the minds of people at that time was, why young girls? The thing was like, oh, they are just terrorists. They just went to pack the children. Why did they target a girls-only school?
Exactly.
And they took all the girls in that school, the whole school, all the girls were taken. All right, 296 girls were taken.
And we're talking majority of these girls, trust me, majority of them have not come back home to their families. I think it was last year, but one in 2023, I remember us reporting a few of them being released and they came back as mothers. So this is just among the few probably who are impregnated by the so-called Boko Harams, raped probably, and then the rest, where are they? Because the government of Nigeria till to date, and still with the help of the US, remember I shared that documentary, that was Obama. They intervened. What happened? We've never gotten any results of where the rest of these girls. And I love the fact actually I'm sharing this video she's talking about, because I've never thought about it that way. Like, this is crazy.
And then later on, information came that these girls had become the wives of this so-called Boko Haram men and women.
Yeah.
And what went viral again was that this is a Christian and Muslim battle. Boko Harams are pro-Islamic, so they're trying to make Nigeria an Islamic country.
Which is a lie.
But what we never knew about was that there are other things behind, because majority of those that were unalived by Boko Haram are Muslims themselves. And the state where they lodged, the majority of those who are in that state are Muslims as well. Okay, I was saying this. I think I've been saying this time without number. It's not a religious battle.
It's not.
These people are only using religion as a tool. Like I told you, religion is a tool. You people don't want to listen. You don't want to understand. Okay, religion is a tool that these people use to actualize their dream, their goal, and their aim in the continent of Africa, because they know this is the only place. This is the only place that we have people who do not think critically.
That's true, because of course we know, like she said, the religion is a tool, and they have understood how deep we went with it, how deep we really ran along with it, and how deep we really value religion. So it's easy for you to convince me that this can be, and it's possible, that it's a religion war. When you have the Muslim, because I remember there's a time actually that was happening also right here in Kenya. There was an issue of, I remember for me it affected me in school somewhat, and I was kind of triggered to turn myself to being a Muslim. Almost became a Muslim. There was, if you don't do this, I can't really remember, but there was something being pushed from the Muslim religion to the Christian. So it is possible to also run along with that.
They just go by it, accept it. Oh, you are doing it for faith, do it. Causing confusion everywhere. But they have a plan. And it has been exposed. It's not a conspiracy theory. You're going to listen to this doctor speak. There is an agenda, and Bill Gates is the one who is at the forefront of this whole battle that is going on. Secret battle. This battle, they're not using gun to fight it. This one, they're using other things to fight this battle. Okay? Apart from contaminating our seeds, Bill Gates is doing far more. And I don't know, but it is painful to know that some of our governments know about these things and they are keeping quiet.
Exactly what Keith just said. It's sad because these political leaders are the ones actually allowing these things to happen in our very own country. Despite the colonial rules set up, there's some things actually need to say no to. I mean, look at Magufuli. That's what he did. And they took him out because of saying, I'm not going to allow any mask people wearing the mask right here in the country. We're not going to allow any lockdown for us to stop for the community to stop flowing or for people's business to be affected in different ways. There's no such thing as COVID-19. And they took him out. They lied on his health, while it's them who took him out. So these political leaders actually, for real, they're the ones to blame also, big time, for allowing this to happen in our very own African countries. The same thing I was talking about when she talks about the Boko Haram, 216 girls being abducted. The same situation happened when Buhari was a president. And this happened where Buhari actually was going on a vacation. Make that shit make sense to me. Somewhere where I'm going as a president, literally on a vacation. Or I'm taking my family maybe somewhere as a president of this country. And look at just Ruto, how now protected he has to be because of just people trying to greet him with a shoe. We're calling it greeting here. Nobody meant any harm. Looking at the video very clearly, that guy never meant any harm. It was just a greeting. This guy didn't have a phone to record, so he just took his shoe and raised it up. And now you're going to have to end up in prison for the rest of your life because of mistaken. It's crazy. Some girls were abducted where Buhari was actually staying on a vacation. Just make that make sense. That the fact these leaders don't know what is happening in our very own country, they're the ones selling us out, for real.
Because I feel that their own immediate family cannot be affected. Since they already know it, they can prevent it. But they do not care about the masses.
Exactly. It's all about the dollars, because look at the country like Nigeria. I was about to report about Nigeria, right? We have the IMF speaking on Nigeria COVID loan repayment. Okay, there's an American billionaire said his Gates Foundation will be shut down after he gave away his wealth. The International Monetary Fund Thursday disclosed that Nigeria has fully repaid its financial support of $3.4 billion it requested and received in 2020. The fund was disbursed under the rapid financing instrument designed to help alleviate the impact of COVID-19 pandemic and the sharp fall in the oil prices. Number one, I think I've talked about this also myself. It's crazy that we get this help from the philanthropist, but we still have to pay back. If you're a philanthropist, why am I paying back?
Exactly. That's why it's not philanthropy. And you're not getting help. They're stealing from you. Tell me, they steal $100 and give you $2 back. That's not them helping you. It's a con. Nigeria's like the fifth biggest oil producer in the world. Should not be poor, but they don't control none of it because the morons that run Nigeria have given all the wealth back again to white people. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Exactly. It's a hustle.
That's exactly what this lady is saying. The African leaders are to blame for all this, that has been happening through the billionaires.
Yes, they are.
Because they have the ability, despite the colonial rule and laws being set up here, that's what we're saying. You can call the shots as a leader. That's what Magufuli did.
Exactly. You got the ability not to be a coward. They will say, well, you see what happened to Magufuli? It's like Ibrahim told you. So they'll come and say, yeah, you can do it that way, but see what happens. Because they tell you we're going to bubble gum your ass. So you can be a coward. So you let you know that all of them are cowards because they've been told they're going to get bubble gum if they don't do what they're told to do.
Sad.
And what happened to the masses? I just want to draw your mind to this cheapo girl so you understand why Africans are accusing Bill Gates of targeting their women ovaries, especially Nigeria. So I want you to listen to this and we'll take it up from there, Your Majesties.
There is a company, American company called Epicite. Epicite invented a way to insert a gene that will sterilize people. If a man eats it, he becomes infertile. That means he cannot have children.
It's not just Nigeria. Remember, the same thing happened in Kenya. This was around 2013. 2013, yeah. This was happening in 2013, 2012 there. And shout out to my sister. She came and reported literally back at home. And she was told, don't take anything. For us, I don't know how this didn't get to us, but I was in a private school, so none of this was introduced to us. And of course, also I think because we were dealing with a white person, he might have known better. I don't know. We didn't get this.
So then this epicite gene was bought over by Monsanto. So when it was bought over by Monsanto, for the very purpose of inserting it in crops, so they now inserted it in Monsanto maize. This Monsanto maize was now grown and then actually put in practice. So the truth of the matter is that this is not some kind of conspiracy theory, or this is real fact. Epicite gene.
Exactly, because most of the times, it's crazy when you try to go their terms or what they're doing, they call you a conspiracy theorist. You're someone who's spreading misinformation and propaganda while it is all fact. And then it's crazy how they do this, and then years later, like what they have done with the COVID-19, still right now we're having videos of them revealing, oh, this was wrong, we should have done better research. Like you're the same people who threatened so many human beings. If you don't get this shot, do you know how many people lost their jobs because of this? How many people literally lost their jobs because if you didn't take the shot, you are going to be fired? And this is because the governments were actually pushing this as well. And people had to go along with the fear agenda that was being pushed to us. Now you come now all of a sudden after so many billions of people, 6 billion people being affected and taking this BS of yours. Now you want to come tell us, oh, this was dangerous, apparently we figured out people are dying because of having clots and so on.
Exactly, Joe. They try to like they didn't know. They try to like they didn't know. When we all knew. We all knew it back then, Joe.
We had so many videos, shows. We couldn't even go to a point where we didn't want to talk about this anymore. We had to stop talking about these topics. I remember completely. We're not going to talk about the COVID-19 anymore.
We lost
because our channels.
we lost like 10 channels, Joe.
Monsanto epicite gene exists. Now, why are they doing this? That's why even many legislators, many people say, okay, well, are they doing this just for money? Yes, it is for money, but even beyond that, what has happened to Nigeria? What the aim of these biotech companies is that they want to begin massive cloning of organs and tissues. The cloning industry is worth $30 trillion US. 30 trillion is 1/3 of world economy.
And if you're cloning organs, who's got the best organs? Africans.
How do they plan to do this? What they want to do is, if you go to the hospital and you have a heart disease, nobody is going to start giving you this drug. They foresee a future whereby, if you have a heart disease, why don't we give you a new heart? So what the doctor has to do will be just to put an ultrasound device or whatever that will allow him to see the heart, and he will insert a small needle and take a cell from it. That cell can send back to the biotech companies. These biotech companies will take that cell from that diseased heart and insert it into an ovarian cell, the egg of a woman. So that ovarian egg will now be used to clone it in a tissue culture. So that heart cell that it took contains the genetic material of the heart of that person. Then the egg of the woman, who they take out the nucleus, will now be what will provide the tissue so it can grow into a heart. After culturing the heart, they send it back to the doctor for transplantation to that person. Maybe he paid the $5 million or $3 million, no matter the amount. So this business is looked at as the organ cloning business.
Yeah, but you need the African woman's genes, since she's the most superior genetics on the planet. See, they hate you, but they know that God has made you the most superior people on the planet. You haven't been taught this, but these are facts. Genetically, you are the most superior people on the planet. And you've always have been. That's why everybody really hates you. Go ahead, Joe.
What did the West do? All their billionaires, all the big names you hear, and all that, they invested in this. The big countries started invested in this. But the problem was, which country will women allow you to take their egg without permission? They said, well, wait a minute, there is the Nigeria. That Nigeria has 250
it'll be all Africa.
And there is this area of their country that produces 70% of the tuber crops. That's the Northeast. So, so what we do? What we will do is that we will breed these mercenaries, take them from Liberia, take them from Libya, take them from Chad, take them from Niger, and bring them and call them Fulani headsmen. Okay. So they breeded these people and called them Boko Haram. There's an insurgency, it's an Islamic fight, when most of these people have nothing to do with Islam. Some of them are just mercenaries who work for me. They were paying them as high as $10,000 a month for their offices. They breed them, they brought them through the borders of these countries surrounding us, Niger Republic, Chad, and some of those northern countries. They brought them in, and then they started this whole campaign called the Boko Haram. Who was training them? They have a private army. The private army is known,
and of course, we know who funded Boko Haram.
It's called Blackwater. Okay, they try to rename it XE Academy.
Exactly. They rebranded. It's Blackwater. It's the same that said we need to recolonize Africa. Eric Prince. Whenever they get caught, all they do is rebrand it, like he said exactly. It's called Blackwater, but they rebrand it, like he's saying. When you find out their wickedness, they just rebrand it, Joe.
Years, and the biotech companies bought this company, Blackwater.
Where is it based? The Blackwater?
It's an American company, security company. They were doing security work for Pentagon in Iraq, and those ones kicked them out. When they kicked them out, when they found out they were causing the violence, they kicked them out. And why they were causing the violence was to prolong their contracts. So they kicked them out, and then they had nowhere to go, and the billionaires bought them. And then they started training these mercenaries.
So what you're saying, in effect, sir, is that the Boko Haram fight we are experiencing in Nigeria is the result of the handiwork of
the biotech companies. It has nothing to do with any Islamic terrorism. Let me tell you why. You look at the statistics. There is this U.S. entity called Council on Foreign Relations. Okay. And they did an audit.
CFR. Pause it. They talking about the CFR now. We're going deep into who took over Africa. That's Cecil Rhodes. That's the Rothschilds. That's the Rockefellers who created the CFR. Council on Foreign Relations, which is in America, is created by these group of individuals. Cecil Rhodes, Rockefellers, and Rothschilds. That's who Boko Haram is. Wow.
Different bodies. Between 2015 and 2018, 37,500 people were killed by Boko Haram. 32,000 of those people were Muslims. 5,500 were Christians. So 85% of the victims were Muslims. Only 15% were Christians. And in states like Zamfara, 60% of the victims were Hausa. 40% were Fulani. So how can you want to spread Islam and you're killing 85% of Islamic people? Makes no sense.
Exactly, because that's the excuse they use. Oh, this is a religion fight. We want to make more Muslims than Christians. So if you're really doing so, why are you killing more than your own? Why is it that if you really want so much of us on your side, you should be killing these other people, not us who are already accepted?
Like he told you, that's why that's the scam. The thing is to get the damn organs and set up these cause destabilization.
Oh God.
It's evil.
These people, we are mercenaries. Some of the mercenaries are even from South Africa. Some of them from
exactly.
So these mercenaries were brought in from everywhere.
It's evil.
And paid in order to come to Nigeria.
It's complete evil.
And how do we know this? Are we just talking? No. Bill Gates, or Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, gave a grant of 2 billion naira to Nigerian farmers, that this money will be used to pay the natural seed growers in their communities. So if the farmers we call them. So these farmers are those who grow the seeds which other farmers come to buy and then plant, but they are natural. So these natural seed growers, we are now told, we will pay you with anybody that comes. Don't bother collecting money from them. We will pay you as far as you register it and all that, and you register their numbers. So they gave them cell phones, which are called electronic wallets, to all the farmers. So 14 million cell phones were funded by Bill Gates. These cell phones have what we call the GPS and NFC technologies that can locate anybody from anywhere in the world to the nearest meter. Okay. So these farmers carried these cell phones, and people were coming. These cell phones, they could track the seed grower and, of course, the farmers who were carrying. So all the farmers who were carrying this so-called electronic wallet were being tracked all around the country. They knew who the seed growers were. So this data was passed on to these mercenaries who are called the Boko Haram.
They would kill them. They would kill them to stop them.
Find the seed growers, kill them in their farms,
and kill them.
Burn all their farms.
Kill them.
And then the remaining of these farmers,
kill them. Can you imagine this? Kill them in their farms so they can goddamn create GMO seeds. You see how wicked this is? This Bill Gates, but he's only sponsored by the Rothschild. So he's a front man. So they were given orders to go kill the people that just grow food in Nigeria. Kill them and burn their farms. So they'll be forced to buy these GMO seeds. This is how wicked these people are. This is the kind of psychopathy you're dealing with. African people, you have no clue how evil these white people, you got no clue. You can't fathom the mind of a psychopath. Because that's not you. Go ahead, Joe.
Move into IDP camps. Then they came as one NGO or the other, one international organization.
Well, these NGOs
to the camps and gave them the so-called improved seeds.
The GMO fake seeds. So they killed the people. I knew it. They killed the people to make them give them the who had good seeds, killed their ass, and then came back and give them these fake fucking seeds where they got to pay them forever. This is how wicked these motherfucking people are. This is evil, God. These are the same people about your fake God, your fake Jesus, your fake Allah, these psychopaths. Go ahead, Joe.
The biotech companies improve seeds via GMOs. They came to the farm, we are trying to help you resettle and rehabilitate you. They give
trying to help you.
So by so doing,
what you see was a Hegelian dialectic. And all they do is Hegelian dialectic. He calls the motherfuckers get murdered, blown up, killed, couldn't see no more. That was the problem. The reaction, they killed everybody. They come with a solution. Here, we got our new seeds for you goofy niggas. Here you go. It's GMO shit. It's going to help you. Know that they caused the problem.
Out. Yeah. Practically all the natural seed growers now driven the other farmers to the IDP camps, coming to the IDP camps, giving them these GMO seeds. Then they allow the farmers to go back to their farms and plant these GMO seeds.
Wow.
Immediately they have finished the first planting season, they have captured the food security. So because the next season, they will need to go back to them.
They gotta go back and pay for them.
I've heard all that. So apparently, this is not a hearsay. This is a doctor from the eastern part of Nigeria. So he knows exactly what he's saying. Okay, it was one of his documentation that I brought here some months ago. We're talking about how doctors and farmers were paid. Doctors and farmers were given huge amounts of money. For the doctors, they should stop practicing. And for the farmers, they should collect GMOs to plant. Okay? And majority of them refused. This was the same man with that documentary. Yeah. So they want to live forever. So when you have a heart problem, they don't need to do anything to say they want to repair the heart. They give you a new heart. You have a kidney problem, they give you a new kidney. You are aging fast, they give you a new skin suit. They want to live forever. These are draconians, devising different means and ways to prolong their life because they have agenda to rule this world forever.
Yep.
Your Majesties. And for them to succeed, they need the ovaries of women.
Of African women.
Like the best
not women, African women. Now understand, not women. Can't do it with Chinese women, Japanese women, Indian women, white women. You need African women. Go ahead, Joe.
You know, conspire and create some commotion. Like I said, I hope you now understand why those so-called Boko Haram men went away with 92 girls, schoolgirls. 292. They went away with
African girls.
Boko Haram quarrel, religious, what have you. These same schoolgirls they went away with, 90% of them are Muslims. Now you can put two together now and see. These same so-called Boko Haram are being used to steal out resources from the same northern part of Nigeria. They go to a place and scare the people away. Oh, Boko Haram is there now.
And the moronic leaders are told to accept it. They know what's going on. They could have been stopped at Boko Haram. But they put the retarded up in there, Bahari, and now this other moron in there, Tinubu. That's why they're there.
Let's not even talk about Buhari. I was just mentioning about Buhari's situation, which I remember reporting when he was still president. We had girls who were abducted when he was on a vacation. Make that make sense. Make that make sense.
It makes sense if you know they're in on it. That's how it makes sense.
It's crazy, man. But before I get to share the last video of the day, I see reparations in the building. Karibu Sana, he or she says we do not need Russia or China to define us. Everything we need is in the earth. Africa needs to close our borders, foreign companies, stop all exports and demand reparations before anything, before any negotiations. I do agree with you, but I believe for now, we don't need a little bit of help. Of course, we can't just,
you do need help. You do need help. You do need help because you're not technically advanced enough to fight a real war. You do need help. The ignorance of Africa has been a problem. You don't make weapons, so you do need help. Sadly, I always say get rid of them after you get the technology, but you do need help because you are technically unadvanced to fight a real war against any mechanized country. So that's get the technology, then you do that. You can't close borders. Your borders don't mean nothing. They got planes, they fly past your borders. You can't even close your borders. Your borders don't mean nothing. They fly up in your country anytime they want to.
But I'll say what other African countries to relate to maybe what you're saying and understanding that is other African countries have done this, of course, without having any negotiations before. This is what we're talking about, what we're just sharing. Why Bill Gates and his foundation have authority and the right to come and settle anywhere and do anything they want is because there's been no negotiation. Exactly. There's been no, going thoroughly through the details or papers you're signing. That has been the ignorance of what Keith is talking about. But for now, looking at Burkina Faso and the help they have from Russia, to be specific, look at them. I feel like it comes from.
They need that help from Russia because that's how they was able to get rid of them fake terrorists 2 days ago. They did wipe their ass out before they got started because of the help of Russia. You're gonna need help because you're not technically advanced. You don't have any weapons. You're gonna need weapons. They gave these terrorists good weapons. And so you gotta fight these fake terrorists with good weapons.
I'm saying strategy because the rest of these countries have also failed because of that. Yes, you invite Russia and China, but you don't have control of anything in your country. That is what Burkina Faso is doing right now. They control their resources. They are doing everything by their own, not taking any funds, not from Russia also itself. I do believe they're paying fully for every help they're getting. Every help they're getting. So
It's a good idea to say kick out every um company and every base, but you don't have the military to keep them out because they're not going to ask you can they come in. They're just going to come in.
Forcefully,
You
true.
know?
I see. Also, she says, "Look how Russia and Ukraine treated Black people at the onset of the
Oh,
war. Now
yeah,
you
they're
have
racist.
Traore.
They're
Like
racist.
white people can never be for Africa. They are the enemy
That,
at
that's
all time."
true.
I
That's
agree. Shout out
true.
to Ben
But
Uko.
but
It
that's
says,
but you're playing chess reparations, not checkers. You're playing chess. You need just like okay, China being pouring backwards, right? China was pouring backwards. China used America to get rich and then learn its technology and to teach its people how to take that technology and make it better. So they needed America and the West to give them to help them technically. China didn't know anything 40 years ago. They run around on bicycles. And they at least they're honest about it. You came, they forced them to give them the technology. It's okay, you want to come in and build factories here cheaply and have us as cheap laborers, but you're going to give us the technology. They're going to show us how to do shit. They're going to teach us how to build, how to do it. And then after a while, you learn how to do it yourself and even surpass them. If your educational system is good, you need people sometimes reparations. You don't have the technical skills to build advanced weaponry. You just don't. So use them, and then once you get better than, then you get to hey, get your ass out of here. Then you do that.
I also see Ben Uko Karibu Sana, hope you're doing great today. He says Bill Gates loves creating problems, also adds 25 years of death. Of course, that's for how long he's been operating. I also see John Mosquito Karibu Sana, hope you're doing great today. Also see Jerome Mosquito says they have committed genocide against African people. He also had Mahama just received 14 armor vehicles from America. He can't be trusted. I told you, come on.
You're right. You're right, Joby. You're right. He cannot be trusted. I want, and before we end, Joby, I want you to play the video I just sent you.
Okay.
He cannot be trusted. We found out there was somebody coming from Ghana who was agent of Ghana trying to infiltrate Burkina Faso. And we know he cannot be trusted. None of these can be trusted. These African leaders they're all bootlegs and in the hands of the white
You're breaking. You're breaking. Your audio is a little bit choppy.
governments. America,
Yeah, but yeah, of course, it can't be trusted. I mean, you guys, I did a whole show on John Mahama. We checked his corruption files, and now he's back to presidency. Come on, that doesn't make sense to me. And then we also have John who says it's sandal leaks in Africa, brother Keith. And I also see Reparation says yes, Mahama, all the current government of Ghana cannot be trusted. Traore should take over Ghana next, followed by Nigeria. Africa needs a coup d'etat of the entire continent for better security. Exactly. Because there's a video I was watching which was talking about military rule versus democracy rule. We prefer a military rule then. If this is what democracy looks like, we don't want anything to do with this. It doesn't help. It doesn't work according to us. Works according to the white man, laws. It's the white man calling the shots, not us. What we say doesn't matter. It's what the white man wants and his interest first. Don't want to make the white man mad. So you gotta do it as Ruto and as the rest of Museveni's, act like the big man in your country. And I also see John Mostre says COVID-19 was a scam. Of course, everybody knew that. For those who knew, of course, so many people didn't. That's why they were scammed. And then we also have Nate Ray Karibu. He says, Kid Putin said as long as he's in office, he will keep Ibrahim Traore alive. Do you believe him? I think we should be able to trust him.
I believe. I don't know about that because remember, the cats run Russia. Don't look who the richest people in Russia. Always understand who's behind the scenes. You got the cats in America, the cats in Russia, cats in Africa. So look who's the richest people in Russia. You can look that up and you'll see the cats. The cats. The cats. How is it that Russia and America is having goddamn problems and the cats run America and the cats run Russia? I say, be careful. I don't trust nobody white. Now, if you can use, if you feel some affinity, okay, cool. I don't trust nothing. I'm just telling you, get their knowledge. And if they want to share technology, say, okay, you want to come in Russia? We need your technology. You want to show us that you're a friend? We need your technology. My people need to learn it. We want to break it down and reverse engineer it. We want to know it. Because if you guys don't know right now, you guys know that India and Pakistan are at war with each other. You guys do know this, right? Again. And remember, the Pakistanis are nothing but Indians. They broke up. The country broke up in 1947 when the Pakistanis killed Gandhi, no good racist ass. Now remember, I have no love for the Indians because the Indians side with the Israelis, the Zionists, because India's naturally racist. That's their religion. So what they're finding out that China now, China can't make good weapons. China's got so good now. Remember, 40 years ago, they didn't know anything. So they told the West to share the technology. If you want to, use us as your slaves, you want to build your stuff here, we're going to have to know how to build it. How does it work? Or don't bring your ass here. We're going to have to get the information. So now China's got so good and learned on their own that now the Chinese missiles are blowing the Indian planes out the sky. So bad that France is telling India, don't use our planes because you're making us look bad. They try to say they don't know how to fly them. No, it's just that the Chinese missiles on the Pakistani planes are so advanced that the planes that India are using from America and France are getting blown out the sky. And you got France trying to call somebody, hey, don't use our planes. You're messing up our money. If people see our planes getting blown out the sky, they're not going to want to buy them. What? We have war. What are you talking about? Don't use the planes that I bought. It's showing you that China now is in the age of military dominance as far as making military equipment, which America always was the top on. China has now, hey, they're showing you these Chinese missiles are cheap and effective. They're blowing the Indians' ass out the sky. And if I was Pakistan, if I'm thinking about war, if I'm a warmonger, that means I got air superiority. And in any war, once you got air superiority, I'm on the march. I'm taking as much groundwork as I want. Because you can't stop me. Like I'm telling reparations, you can't stop close your borders. You don't got no air superiority reparation. Have any kind of war. When you got air dominance, that means you dominate the battlefield. And now India with those Chinese missiles are dominating the battlefield. And nothing India can do about it. Nothing. And if they want to take land, they'll take it. Because now I got air superiority. Nothing you can do. Let your goofy jets go up. I'll blow them out the sky. And that's what you see. That stuff is funny. The Indians, in fact, India's all messed up in the head. So this ends the dumb BRICS. Because remember, BRICS was Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. You get Indian planes getting shot out the sky by China. And then China's now pushed their people on the border, threatening to take more land from India too, from the north. Uh-oh.
But yeah, so as you say, time is gone. Right now, as we talk about Russia, Ibrahim Traore did go visit Moscow.
Play that video, Joby.
With Russia protection at his highest level, and he arrived in Moscow at the invitation of President Vladimir Putin to attend Victory Day celebration. And Russia sent
for all the other African leaders also, he invited none of you other African puppets. None of you.
Russia
Go ahead,
sent
Joe.
a plane to transport him
Yeah.
from Burkina Faso, accompanied by fighter jets.
Fighter jets. That's right.
Russia for doing
In case they try to kill him, exactly. So Friday, he got a personal jet surrounded by the fighter pilots. Like I said, Russia makes some of the best fighter jets in the world. So, and Russia was mad about China because remember, China was buying Russian planes and then reverse engineering, and the Russians were getting mad. There's nothing they could do. They couldn't go to war against China for stealing their technology. China said, we're going to steal it. Yeah, we bought the plane, but we're going to break it down and we're going to learn how to build it. And Russia, so China put out cheap copies of the Russians, because Russians make some of the best fighter planes in the world. The MiGs are awesome. So when China bought the planes, they broke them down and reverse engineered them and rebuilt the same plane almost. He would say, hey, the Russians would say, hey, those are our planes, what you doing? Well, we don't know what you're talking about. We don't know what you're talking about. Whatever.
Before I get to share the last video that you sent me, let me share this one. Coming from the Kenyan senator, who's talking about Ibrahim Traoré'S and how they have failed as leaders of Kenya.
You know they failed. You've all failed. All African, all you puppets have failed. And the people know. That's why I say you leaders have got something coming next 5 years. You're gonna be wiped out. I'm just telling you. The youth are waking up, and you've done despicable for African people. All you bootlicking, handkerchief head parliament, whether you're in Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria, all of you are corrupt and despicable. You sit in the richest land, shouldn't be no poor African people. So make that make sense. Go ahead, Joe.
Period.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to make some brief comments and support this report. I support this report because I understand the importance of the Great Lake region in Africa. I understand the importance of the fresh lakes which exist in these regions, which help build our biodiversity. And all my colleagues who have spoken on this issue have emphasized on the need for us to take seriously matters on climate change, and particularly climate
change a lie. It's a con. It's a con. It's a lie. It's a fake. But these morons, since they've run by white people, they all got to say the same con, scam, nonsensical thing. Other than his own investigation and call it a con, because they pay his bootlicking handkerchief head ass off. That's why.
It is imperative, Mr. Speaker, and I'm very happy that one of the recommendations made by this report is to be able to legislate for the future. We just came back, Mr. Speaker, from the Masai Mara Game Reserve, where we had hosted a caucus on future generations. It is imperative that all of us remember that we own nothing in this world, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
And remember, pause that. And remember, this fake climate change has been the stealing of African lands, like in Kenya, with the carbon credit garbage. It's a con where they steal African people's land. And this moron, he's about to climate change. Shut up, idiot. Go ahead,
he's gonna mention it. I think.
Okay. All right.
You see, they mix the truth with the lies. He's gonna talk about deforestation and where we have Ruto right now, who set up a holiday. Every year we have to stay at home and go plant trees because there are people who are coming to benefit of carbon emissions. So he's questioning, are we literally trying to make our environments better, bring back the greenery we used to have as Africans, or are we doing this to benefit someone else, which is carbon emission, BS. So
that's exactly what you're doing.
That the majority leader drives, he doesn't own it. He only uses it on this world when he's moving from one place to another. The $1 million house that Senator Mofire owns, he doesn't really own. He's really just a tenant. He will leave it on this earth for the next generation to be able to occupy it. This is very common in the States where I lived, where banks are the ones that own properties. You might think you own your home, and before you realize that you are dead, someone else has taken your home. This is something that I think it should go to the core of this nation, that we own nothing. Even the suit I'm wearing, I don't own it. It's just something to accompany me as I move from one place to another. We own nothing. So with these parliamentarians coming together to be able to discuss the importance of preserving the environment in this Great Lake region, the importance of discussing about the economy of these Great Lake regions, the importance of ensuring that we have a stable society. All these problems that we've had, Mr. Speaker, if you look at what happened during the genocide in Rwanda, where over 800,000 people died, and then all the instability that ensued in the Congo region, all these affects these Great Lake regions. And it's about time that we discuss issues and we follow through. I'm one of the biggest critics of seminars because they normally end up being just talk shops where people talk about what they're going to do. But when it comes to issues that affects future generation, it is something that I give my utmost attention. It is imperative, Mr. Speaker, that this recommendation, that this report has been able to come up with are followed to the latter. If you look at the one that I just talked about, enact legislation that will introduce measures to safeguard natural resources for future generation and create a more sustainable and resilient future for all. That in itself, Mr. Speaker, require us to carry both pre and post scrutiny of all our legislations to be able to see, are we legislating for now, or are we legislating also to be able to ensure that future generations are also protected? One of the legislation that I hope that we can be able to relook at is the legislation that deals with the environment. Mr. Speaker, a long time ago, Nairobi was known as the Green City, but now it is the concrete jungle because we are building and building and building, and we are not really caring about the environment. I think it's about time, Mr. Speaker, that now in all our 47 counties, all our urban centers, we start by making sure that we fix the environment. We fix the environment, we plant trees. When I was growing up in Narok, we had a forest in Narok town called Olekonyo Forest. Today is literally just a piece of land which is eroded for people moving, and also with the floods from time to time. I think now Narok County has got to move forward and bring reforestation in that area so that we even have a cleaner environment which we can be able to breathe. It is important. We talk about planting trees, but we plant trees so that we can be able to ensure that we adapt to the climate change, or do we plant trees so that people start knocking doors and saying we want carbon credit on the forest?
It's all the same.
Today, one of the very sexy and interesting
Exactly. It's all the same fake. It's all fake. What you do, you plant trees for the ecosystem, moron. Having it covered because it's healthy and it brings rainfall and it helps the environment. It's also about your spiritual growth. African people were spiritual, so we need nature. It's part of nature. So you plant trees. Well, you got these psychopaths and you cut down trees, like the Bill Gates. Cut down trees and block the sun. What? Yeah, that's going to stop climate change. You sound crazy. So you plant trees because it brings, it betters your environment, and it also helps the ecosystem. That's why. Not for any carbon credit nonsense, not for any global warming nonsense. You plant trees because it's important to your spiritual health, your economic health, and your social health. That's why.
Okay, let me share the last video of the day.
So this is the video I'm talking about I'm trying to tell you about reparations, what they do. You close your borders, that won't stop them from flying into your countries. right? You don't have nothing. You don't have the military might to stop them from coming in. That's why you got a power with stronger military to get that information to build yourself up militarily. So then you can close your borders because these psychopaths want what you have. So they will come to see you. And they're going to say, oh, Joby closed her door. I'm not going to break her door down. Joby's got all the gold there. I'm going to break her door down. I'm going to kill Joby, throw her ass in a ditch, and steal the gold up out of there. Go ahead. That's what these people are telling you.
6 of the 10 fast-growing economies are in sub-Saharan Africa.
And we want it.
Countries rich in mineral wealth. Coltan for our computers, cobalt for our batteries, phosphates for our agriculture, nuclear ore for our power. These are the things, gentlemen, that the wars of the next 20, 30 years will be fought over. Just over 2 years ago. Back then, we approached the Malian government about mining rights. They told us that those rights were going to the Chinese. So we set about to create the conditions to make sure that wouldn't happen. Just last week, one of our Australian subsidiaries, thank you, Lachlan, secured those rights. Our pilot project in Mali hit a few bumps, but I'm delighted to report that it worked. And if it can work there, there's no reason it can't work in other mineral-rich countries across Africa. We create the chaos, and then we move in and capitalize on that chaos. We're looking at the long term here, gentlemen. Rates of return that'll make Iraq and Afghanistan look like chicken feed.
It's the audacity. It's just the audacity for me. But this is what they've been doing. It's just the audacity.
The audacity. That's who they are, Joby.
This is all the same thing I was saying yesterday. It's crazy. They don't even like hearing their own cousins or nephews even trying to get, and I'm talking about China at this point, trying to tap in, into Africa. They're fighting amongst themselves as well, scrambling a peaceful. It's crazy, man. But this is the reality we're dealing with. But they call upon Africans to wake up again, like that black lady who said there's a whole lot of things happening, agendas, and the topic I also had. They all have agendas when it comes to us. We should have an agenda when it comes to them, literally.
Exactly.
Up agendas. They have all planned agendas, even come 2050. They have agendas. What do we have? Always asking them to.
We have a plate of ugali. That's what we have.
And that is gonna be gone. There's nothing left you have, when ugali also is taken away from you. If they're already telling you, oh, we saw China, they were trying to help you. You have ugali, but you didn't have mboga, you didn't have colored greens. So we saw that China has the capability of bringing colored greens, and we blew the whole plate of ugali. Now you're left with nothing on your hands. Nothing. But I see reparations say fake people are too greedy. They want everything. That's exactly what's happening. If they about
Joey said the audacity. That's right.
If they're so supreme, why are they not enough? Why exactly are they not enough in numbers? I know that's right. I also see reparation says our resources are our weapons, their citizens are our weapons. Exactly. And I also see John Mosquito says reparations, unfortunately our leaders signed contracts with Europeans not to develop nuclear weapons before being given independence.
Exactly. Remember that was like 1992. They had another it was like the 70s. They promised that they wouldn't develop these morons, because they were all puppets, promised that they wouldn't bring weapons develop weapons in Africa. They wouldn't produce them, they wouldn't develop them. That's how you know these are sick in the head Negroes. That they would stay defenseless. You're right, Jim Mosquito. These morons thought it was like either the 90s or the 70s that all these African puppets signed to the Europeans We're not going to build weapons. We're not going to build any weapons to go against you, white daddy.
Travis Chris says Indians are weak. Nobody takes them serious. He also says he means not being attached to materialistic things. Excuse me. He also says and get the lions off the street. I know the lions, man. The lions, the hyenas, there are many. And I also see John Mr. says you can literally turn a whole desert into a rainforest in a matter of years. Yeah, if they wanted to do it, but
okay.
They really don't want to. But much love, family. This is where we wrap it up. I have pending videos. I think I'll share that tonight of where the white people are reacting towards Ibrahim Traoré. I promise to share that, and I will tonight on the show as we get to continue with other discussions. But I wrap it up
Peace,
here.
Family.
Conversation. This has been the Pan African Bliss Show. Thank you to the people who leave their comments behind. I've been seeing your guys' comments. I saw Cassius Williams questioning about the music I always start with. My bad, but that is 254 music, yeah. And to everyone who has been, of course, catching the shows, I really appreciate you. The numbers I've been seeing on my show, they're going crazy, and I love it. But I hope you leave your comments as well behind, subscribe, and also download our app on the Google Play Store so you can stay connected on all.
Yeah, you guys subscribe. And I know that's why we shadow banned them. I said, what? I think we're up to like 22,000 almost or something like that now. I don't know what we're up to. Something like that. I don't know.
We're at 22,000 right now. So shout out to all the new subscribers, the silent ones, the remaining ones, those who catch this on a replay. We appreciate you all. And to the Rumble BitChute listeners as well, Asanteni Sana, hope you guys also hit that follow button on those platforms as well. Much love. Have yourselves a beautiful day. I'll wrap it up with Burna Boy again with Ibrahim Traoré. And of course, have yourselves a beautiful, beautiful day.
Peace, family. See everybody later on the day. Have a good day, show.
When the fire come, make the lion no run. When the night dark, still the light go burn. He know they alone, Jah they fight for the throne. Bucking a stand tall, your kingdom come home. God is with Ibrahim Traoré.